In this video, we are witnessing one of the most important ceremonies in Balinese Hindu culture, a cremation process known locally as Narban, also called Pratiwahan for high priests or Pelibon for persons of a higher caste such as royal family. For many visitors, the atmosphere can seem a little bit surprising rather than being something a little bit sombre, filled with sadness. A Balinese cremation is often colourful, vibrant, and accompanied by loud music, family gatherings, and a large community participation. And that's because Balinese Hindus believe that death is not the end of life, but a transition. The cremation ceremony helps release the soul, or Atma, from its earthly body so it can continue its journey and eventually be reincarnated. And what makes today's event particularly special is that this ceremony is a Pelibon, honouring Ida Ayu Made Putra, a respected Balinese Hindu noblewoman from Gria Timbul in the Intaran village of Sanur. As the procession moves through the streets of Sanur, you'll notice the incredible level of detail in the ceremonial structures. The towering platforms carrying the deceased, such as this one known as a wada, and because of her higher caste in the community, these are often decorated with elaborate carvings, colourful fabrics, gold accents, and symbols from Balinese Hindu tradition. And the golden bull we just saw is actually the sarcophagus where they will transfer her body into from her platform at the eventual cremation site, which today is Pantai Karang. Then once the procession reaches the cremation ground, which the priest reads and chants mantras and blesses the sarcophagus, which is also called in Balinese a patulangan, before men with blessed torches set the whole structure, complete with the body on fire. As part of the procession, family members take pride of place, such as these young ladies sitting up high in traditional dress, including the galungan, which is the gold ceremonial headpiece, a sangur, which is the decorative hairpiece, and the cempaka imas, which are the flower decorations. The women carrying offerings are bringing bantan, ceremonial gifts prepared for the funeral rites. These offerings play an important role in the spiritual journey of the deceased. Some will be used in prayers and purification rituals, while others will accompany the cremation itself as symbolic gifts to the gods, ancestors, and departing soul. And the music you're hearing is gamelan, the traditional ensemble music of Bali. The rhythms and sounds add energy and movement to the procession and help transform what might otherwise be a sad occasion into a celebration of life completed. It also provides a sonic protection from evil spirits. In Bali, cremations can be expensive, and historically some families would temporarily bury their loved ones and wait until enough money had been saved to conduct a proper Nyaban ceremony. In some villages, mass cremations are still organised every few years, allowing multiple families to participate together. A ceremony of this scale could cost tens or even hundreds of millions of rupiah, but while the exact amount varies enormously, many Balinese families spend years planning and saving for important funeral rites. The remarkable thing is that much of the work is contributed by family, friends, and the local banjar, turning the ceremony into a true community effort. As we follow the procession through Sanur, it's worth remembering that while visitors are often welcome to observe respectfully, this remains a deeply personal and sacred event for the families involved. What we're seeing is not a performance for tourists, but an important religious ceremony that has been practiced for centuries. One of the most striking features of any Nyaban ceremony is the sense of community involvement. Entire banjar or neighbourhood communities often help organise and carry out the event. Preparing a cremation can take weeks or even months of planning, with dozens of people contributing their time and effort. Witnessing a ceremony like this offers a rare glimpse into the heart of Balinese culture. Beyond the beaches, resorts and restaurants that most visitors know, ceremonies such as Nyapan reveal the deep religious traditions and strong community bonds that continue to shape everyday life on the island.
Big casta. Oh, the big. Yeah, the big casta, I would say like this.
So it is a
The symbolism like.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's someone very.
This is the
important.
family one. The family of the family.
Oh, the family.
Yeah. I mean,
It's so
yeah.
beautiful. How do they get so many people? Are they all these people from
This area Sanur, but not because this district. Yeah.
Amazing.
Something is inside of
The town?
yeah.
Inside that?
Yes.
One of the most striking features of the procession is the long white cloth carried between the family and the towering wada. In Balinese Hindu tradition, white symbolises purity and spiritual transition. The cloth creates a symbolic connection between the deceased and the family, representing the bond that continues even as the soul begins its journey to the next stage of existence. Throughout the ceremony, many objects have multiple meanings. What may appear to be a simple piece of cloth often carries deep spiritual significance, reflecting the Balinese belief that family bonds extend beyond physical death. In places like Sanur, where the coastline is close to the community, funeral processions may naturally end near the beach because it provides convenient access for the final ash scattering and purification rituals. Balinese culture is strongly influenced by the concept of Keja Kalot, a sacred orientation between the mountains and the sea. Keja refers towards the mountains, especially Mount Agung, while Kelot refers towards the sea. As many Balinese funeral ceremonies eventually make their way to the sea, in Balinese Hindu belief, the ocean is a place of purification and spiritual renewal. After cremation, ashes are often carried to the water and returned to the natural world, symbolising the completion of one stage of the soul's journey and the beginning of another. Eventually, the procession reaches the cremation grounds, where the final stages of the ceremony take place. The physical body is returned to the elements through fire, symbolising the release of the soul and the separation from the earthly world. For Balinese Hindus, this is not viewed as a final goodbye. Instead, it marks another step in the ongoing cycle of life, death and rebirth that forms a central part of their spiritual beliefs. Whether you've come across a cremation procession unexpectedly or planned to see one, it's an experience that leaves a lasting impression. The colours, music, devotion and community spirit all combine to create something that is uniquely Balinese and unlike funeral traditions found in much of the Western world. As the ceremony continues, it's a reminder that every culture has its own way of honouring those who have passed. And in Bali, that farewell is expressed not only through grief but through celebration, gratitude and hope for the soul's next journey.